Hi, and welcome to Something to Talk About. I'm Linda McNamee, and for the next hour-ish, you will find all about career pathways. So, probably not if you're thinking of a career change after college, but it gives us opportunities for high school students to discover what their options are in the future. But instead of my theorizing what it's all about, you will meet my wonderful guest in a moment who will tell us more and accurate information. But as always, I would like to thank the crew for this evening. Oh, wait, I forgot. You could always email me if you have a suggestion for a future topic by emailing talk@bcattv.org. There. As always, I would like to thank the crew for this evening, Gwyneth McNamee and Lucian Gates, who are volunteers giving up their Wednesday evening to come hang out at BCAT and also learn about career pathways. So thank you both. And I would also like to thank Chris Flaherty, who's one of the staff members, making sure that us volunteers kind of know what we're doing. So anyway, thank you, Chris. And it's become a tradition. Thank you, Paul, for staying home for Daddy Date Night, even though you are just helping possibly with homework and tormenting the cats, or keeping the cats from tormenting you. Not sure, but housekeeping aside, I would like to introduce my wonderful guest, Shereen Tyrrell. Mm-hmm. Okay, wasn't sure where the accent was on that. And you are the director of the Burlington High School Career Pathways, or is it Innovation Career Pathways?
We call it Career Pathways, but as we'll learn, it's part of a state program called Innovation Pathways.
Cool. All right, so before we get into the whole pathways, whichever adjective
however we start it,
can you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, how you came to the Burlington area, and then we'll get into how you discovered about career pathways and how you kind of worked that into the curriculum.
And we have an hour, right? So I can tell my whole life story.
And if we run out of time, we can always have a sequel.
That's right. So I actually grew up in upstate New York.
Okay.
I went to college in New York for engineering.
Oh, wow. Okay. Where'd you go to school?
RPI.
That's where my brother went.
You're kidding. Oh, I wonder if I know him. We'll have to see later.
Maybe. We'll talk about that later.
So yeah, and then I came out to Massachusetts to work for digital equipment.
Okay.
And did engineering for about 5 years, and then made my own career change into the nonprofit world, really advocating for kids, and actually advocating for very little kids.
Okay.
And then fast forward, I ended up at a nonprofit that was focused on education, and then worked at an organization called the Mass Technology Leadership Council, which is a bunch of tech companies that all get together, and it's really like a professional organization for them. Oh,
cool. So it's not like a government-funded thing.
No. Oh, so it's like a private business association, like a chamber of commerce.
Because I was wondering, like companies. A think tank or...
Well, yeah, and they have great events. So out of that program, I ended up working, I was the head of their STEM education program. Oh, wow, okay. So I got more and more involved in looking at computer science in our state. And, when I went to school many years ago, not that many kids took computer science, not that many girls took computer science. Fast forward, kind of still the same. Yeah. So
the industry's changing so much, so it's kind of hard to keep up, but that's a whole other story. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So, and in that role, I met Dr. Conti.
Okay.
They needed a computer science teacher. There really is a shortage, and
for the high school level, or
I think all
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I said, I'll do it. I'll try it.
Wow.
So started here about 7 years ago, recalling all my technical knowledge and teaching.
Now, did you have to go back to school for like certification or masters or all that kind of stuff?
If I continue to teach, I would.
Okay.
But so in that role, I was teaching really part-time, and then I had learned of this state funding program called Innovation Pathways.
Oh, okay.
And the whole goal was to kind of create like a vocational path within an academic high school. So, you know,
okay.
the kids that are going to a VOTEC, they really, from the beginning, are thinking about what their field is going to be after. And when you're in an academic high school, we're really preparing students, for the most part, for college and career. And so the curriculum is really designed.
But even careers aren't really taught at that level. It's more like prepare you for college, prepare you how to study, and bye. So so there really is a need, and the whole idea is that if we can help students learn more about themselves and what's a good match, and help them learn about different careers that they don't even know exist. Exactly.
You know, and teach them how to research. You know, say they want to be, I don't know, a school psychologist. How many job openings are there? What's the pay? What do you need to do? So
how competitive is it? You know, too.
So helping students learn how to navigate the career landscape. So yes, there's more of a focus on self-assessment, career planning, and then kind of what courses do you need? And and I think one of the aspects of our innovation pathway or our career pathways is that all of the courses in the pathway are courses that are here at the high school.
Okay, so you didn't have to like introduce new or specific curriculum.
So we're really taking what already exists and kind of showing students, gee, you know, here's a progression. The state grant.
Like if I wanted to become a biomedical engineer. You would say, okay, well, first you need to, you know, take this.
Exactly. So kind of matching the courses, and we have so many electives in Burlington that
that's amazing.
So it's a great opportunity to just be a little more thoughtful about what you're doing and kind of come out of high school having explored things and also have some skills that kind of align with what you want to do. So it's great.
So how long has Innovation Pathways been in Massachusetts? And how long has Burlington been doing
think since 2018, and I believe that we were in the first cohort. Now I think there's 54 districts that have pathways. Now, in Burlington, do you interact with any of the other districts? We do. We have a community of practice, it's called. So I get to talk with other teachers and district leaders about how are they handling career education and you know the courses, et cetera, et cetera.
Is there like a specific curriculum that you need to follow to be either grant funded or part of under the umbrella of the Innovation Career Pathways?
So great question, and the answer is yes and no. So
it depends.
So exactly. So the yes is you take 2 kind of courses or electives in your area of interest, and then you take 2 of them that are college level. So part of this is to encourage students to take college level courses in high school because you have longer, you have a more support. It's a great way to get introduced to college level content in a very safe environment.
And when you say college level, my brain is like going all over the place because when my daughter entered high school, the guidance department had like a breakfast and they're like, well, there is that dual enrollment thing. Are you talking the dual enrollment where they actually like go to Middlesex Community College?
It can be very confusing. So AP courses are college level. And you can get college credit. Now, you get college credit if you get a certain score on an exam and your college accepts it, but you're still doing rigorous work. You know. And dual enrollment exists too, and the way dual enrollment works for us is that we actually teach the classes here that mirror a similar course at Middlesex. And then what happens is you are literally dual enrolled. So you enroll in that Middlesex class and you enroll in the Burlington class, but you're taking the Burlington class. But then you get credit from the Middlesex class. So it's confusing.
Well, also, you know, when your oldest child first enters school, enters high school,
right?
It's a totally different world than you know back when I went to,
Yeah, and it's confusing. And then,
unless you're actually in it too, it's like, okay, I don't have to worry about that right now.
I think the kids get confused too, but basically we kind of say, these courses are college level. And then, if that's not for kids, there's certainly other courses they can take. So the idea is for everybody to find their place, for us to provide academic support, as we do in Burlington, to make sure they can succeed. Some schools have a thing called early college, where the kids actually go to the college.
Oh, okay.
We don't have that here, but it's
don't rush growing up. No, just.
And then you were asking kind of what is the criteria. So the other piece of the criteria is that you have to include career and academic planning in your program. They don't dictate how to do that. But
that could be good, that could be not so good.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of training and resources, and there's so many materials, and we also are working closely at the high school with the Portrait of a Graduate initiative. So,
that looks really cool.
Yeah, so we're all kind of aligned to make sure kids can do these things like communicate, solve problems, think critically. I mean, so, but we're actually saying,
that's what you need.
In addition to knowing algebra or biology, we also want to make sure that, you come out, you can communicate, you can collaborate.
You know how to think, how to study.
Yes.
Because I remember, like, when I went through high school, it's like, okay, I did fine, didn't really have to study. And then I got to college, where all of a sudden I was incredibly average.
Yeah,
it's like
I had a similar
study. I don't know how to research.
Oh,
it was
how to schedule your own time.
Yeah.
And, yes.
So I was really excited to see the school do that. But okay, I digress.
And then in terms of the pathways, so we have computer science and we have business this past year we offered. And so why those?
Yeah. Now, when you started 7 years ago, or whenever, when you started the program, did you immediately start with those two, or did you just start with, because you're more of a computer person, computer technology?
Science. Yeah, I started in, it's called information, but yes, I started with the thing I know. So
why not? Now, is that dictated by the grant as well?
So there are 6 key areas that they've determined based on a demand for workers that are high growth fields. So information is one, business and finance is another. Let me see if I can get them all right. There's clean energy, there's life sciences, manufacturing. And I'm missing one.
They all sound pretty techy though. Well, except for the business.
Actually, you know what? There's health.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so there you go. So thank you. So
like,
those are like the 6.
Energy,
those are kind of the 6 buckets. Within that, there is a lot of flexibility. Within information, we really focused on computer science, but as we've evolved, we actually have brought in data science courses. Data science is great. Data's everywhere. So if you're running a business, it's good to know how to manage data. If you're
and how to use that data to your advantage too.
If you're a research scientist in bio. So we're introducing some courses that are not just computer science programming, but they're
like information technology.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to offer cybersecurity next year, which is exciting.
Cool. Yeah. Now, is that going to be its own track, or is that going to be under the umbrella?
It's going to be under the umbrella. Yes.
Because I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, we're trying to keep it simple. So.
No, but it sounds like totally amazing. So, when I was looking on the website, it also mentioned that the program can begin in 10th grade. So does that mean it's required to be 3 years, or can somebody start in 11th grade, or if they start in 10th and go, this really isn't for me, do I, how does that all work?
There's complete flexibility. You're not locked in if you do it. If you join in 11th grade and can't meet all the requirements, we still encourage you to be part of the program. So I mean,
you'll still graduate. Yeah,
they'll still graduate.
Okay.
I mean, we're here, it's a public school, we're encouraging, come when you want. If it's not for you, then, you know.
Now, is there an application process?
Basically, the application is an interest form. And so far, we have not turned anyone away. I mean, essentially, kind of the constraint is really how many kids can fit in the class, how many advanced courses do we need to offer, and so right now we've been fine. If it gets more competitive, we'll either change what sections we offer. I mean, it's kind of the whole school philosophy is to try to accommodate students whenever possible.
Because I think when I was like kind of reading over the webpage on it's on the BHS or BPS.
So the
website.
application, I mean, we're having students self-select really, and you know, make a commitment to do the coursework to get the help
what
they
is the
need.
difference between like normal courses? Is it because they have to take AP courses, or?
I know it's confusing. So
Yeah, I know, and I'm making you like
no, and all the kids ask the same thing. So the kids can take the college level. At least with computer science, we have room. The kids can take the college level courses and not be part of the pathway. You know, our school, when we first started this, computer science was the only one. Now we have business. Now we're talking about, are we going to expand this model and really have kids their freshman year start to kind of think about where they might want to be. And again, as
like,
all of us
probably too busy trying to adjust to high school.
Oh, I know. Well, and if all of us, we've changed careers many times. We all know, you know, what you decide when you're, you know, 15 is
not what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life.
But the idea is to help students like really think critically and make a decision and pick a path and see how it goes and get in the habit of doing that. We always say, I worked at another role where this one consultant would say, we don't know the perfect solution, but we're going to put a stake in the ground, we'll see how it goes, and if that doesn't work, we'll move the stake again. So I think that careers are kind of like that, you know.
When students show an interest in the course or in the program, because it's not just one course, is there any dialogue first, like with either their guidance counselor, with you to say, well, I kind of sort of want to explore this, but like you had just said, I'm only 15 years old. I have no idea what I want to do for the rest of my life. So where do I start? So is there any of that, or they're just like, computer science sounds fun?
I think that model is the best, to have more dialogues with students. And you know, individual teachers are always talking with students. It's course selection time.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think my daughter was saying, yo, it's course selection time. We have to start thinking about what we're going to take next year.
Yes, and you know, sophomore year, there's one elective, so there's fewer options, and so it makes it more weighty. But junior and senior year, there's quite a few electives, and whatever your path is, like we do encourage kids, explore while you're here.
Yeah.
You can pick a path, but also try art, try music, try literature, try comp sci if you're an art student. You know, just a little mixing. But in terms of the process for picking the pathway, so teachers talk with students, guidance counselors talk with them about it. I try and go around and talk to students. I know with the business, the kids in the freshman business class, the business teachers talk. So we try. I mean, I think as we do a better and better job of kind of doing this career piece as a whole school, the discussions will be kind of the whole year.
Right. Well, I'm also thinking, you just said when we do a better job, but it's like, it's a new program.
Yeah, and I think
so you kind of learn as you go.
It's a new program, and it's also, everyone here is so committed to helping students on their path. Where do we find the time to do X, Y, Z? That's kind of what we're always trying to figure out. With the pathways as they exist right now, the business and the computer science or the information, we've been using flex time. Which is this optional time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's a half an hour. Students can use that time for extra help, for activities, and we have pathway meetings as well.
Okay.
So we meet with the whole cohort. We try to meet monthly and do career-related activities or talk about courses or have career speakers. Okay. And then we also have been meeting with students individually to spend a little more time. So it's going well. Okay. So, we'll see.
How many students are we talking about, like, enrolled in the whole program?
Good question. I think business has 45 and computer.
Not to put you on the spot.
No, and I think computer science we have about 100.
Okay, and that's so over that 3-year period. Right. So it's not necessarily, 10 sophomores, 10 juniors, and 10 seniors.
It varies. Like for me, for computer science, I have more seniors, fewer sophomores. Okay. In business, they have more sophomores and fewer seniors. Right. So
well, like you also said, it's how does it fit in your schedule because of the electives and the graduation requirements, and you have to take X number of years of everything. Okay. Right. So, all right. And
I will say with the pathway that. I have found in working with a lot of students, they're interested in technology, but they also really love, I'll just say biology, they love science. So, there is the freedom to be part of the pathway, do some computer science, get that under your belt, but also, take the bio and, that can count too. So we're trying to be like broad-minded. Okay. Because I'm also thinking, we don't want kids to be kind of excluded or to only take courses in just one thing, like, trying to be flexible.
But also, as we as adults are discovering, there's so many different opportunities now than there were before. Right. Like, if you like biology, you like information. Well, robotics, artificial intelligence. I mean, maybe not biology, but like, I'm thinking back to biomedical engineering was a brand new field. Right. Like brand new. Right. And I'm just like, that sounds really cool. Like the artificial limbs and, all that kind of stuff.
I just read Mass General has a new partnership with a tech company that they're going to be creating sensors, and when every patient comes in, they're going to be using the sensors to help gather data and help the doctors do a better job collecting the data. And so if you're in healthcare, and knowing something about tech is more and more relevant.
And like you had alluded to earlier, there's so many aspects of the program that aren't necessarily or subject-based. It's like time management and research, and those are transferable to everything. Yeah. Everything.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm remembering on the website, or did you have anything more? Nope. Oh, okay. I don't want to interrupt you because there's a lot of information there. It seems like there's a high school student paired up with a professional, like a industry expert, subject matter expert, and then a college student. So it's like 3. So is that like standard, or is that, how does that work?
Another good question. So this evolved senior year in Burlington. The last quarter, seniors have an opportunity to do an internship.
Yes. But that's like for everything, not just
for everything.
The careers pathway. Okay.
For everything. So then, say we have 40 students, can you get me an internship at, XYZ tech company? Okay. So it's very difficult to place 40 students for a 2-month internship in a technology company that actually only hires college juniors as interns, and that's competitive. And by the way, the students have to be here for AP classes. So,
and it's also, the businesses want the internship for 6 months or a year, and not just 3 or 4 months or 2 months.
So we actually worked with MITRE, and we had this idea: how can we provide work-related experience? So we flipped the internship.
Yeah, idea. I saw the flipped internship.
I know, which I think I'm going to change the name, but we flipped it.
It's a cool name.
And the kids do projects in Burlington. So we have like a room, area 123. They come in.
Oh yeah, that's like right outside the BHS studio. Oh.
Yeah, we can film it live when it happens. So we have kids. They can pick their interest. They do a project of their choosing. They're responsible for what they're going to accomplish. There's online curriculum. They can work individually or with teams. So all that is good.
Okay.
We always have a teacher in the room.
Okay. Yeah, adult supervision is important.
But if I'm the teacher in the room, I only know what I know. I don't know everything about data science. I don't know everything about app development. I don't. So we found that hiring college students who are studying computer science was really terrific.
Ooh,
and made a tremendous difference because they're near peers, and just their level of technical expertise is fresh.
Yeah, so it's fresh in their minds.
It's deep.
Okay.
They know all the latest things, and it's worked really well. And it was almost by accident that it happened.
Cool.
So,
I love happy accidents.
And then the industry mentor piece. So we originally, when this started, we had all these people from MITRE would come over and meet with the kids once a week, and they did workshops on like agile and project management and cyber and resume writing. And when they came over, we would basically take the engineers and the kids and have them sit at a table and say, okay, now talk. So over time it's evolved, and now we have a very structured program. So we recruit mentors, and if anyone's watching, we're looking for mentors for the spring. And so we actually have 6 sessions. They're 15 minutes to a half an hour. Mentors can meet in person or virtually. Which we discovered in COVID is possible.
Well, yeah.
So all of a sudden,
some good things developed out of COVID.
So all of a sudden now we have professionals who may be working at home. They may be in Boston. They could be in Texas. They can still mentor a student. And then we have a very structured kind of itinerary. Like there's different topics, and the topics are really broad. Like how do you deal with obstacles? How do you manage your time? How do you get help as a professional? So, and the kids seem to love it. Get to talk to these mentors about college, get advice on what courses they should take, or how do they maneuver. These mentors,
are they still the professionals, or are we dipping
these
into
are
the
professionals.
college students?
The college students I have found also, of course, share their 2 cents. Yes, but then the professionals have kind of gone through it, come out the other side. So I think
so it's like their time for reflection, going, if I had to do this all over again, I would have focused on this. Or I wish I had done. Yeah,
so it's really worked well. And I think that combination of a teacher, the college student, and then the industry mentor is a really nice combination.
How do you find the college students, though?
So we were lucky we had 2 alums.
I was like, are they BHS alums, or are they?
BHS alums.
Cool.
Like great students, so proud of them. They've gone on to do so well. So yeah, a lot of talented alums. In fact, a lot of our mentors are alums.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What's the capstone project?
So
or is that part of the flipped internship?
Yes, when you do a project. So with the state funding for the Innovation Pathways, part of it is actually to do a 100-hour internship, which it's a lot, or a capstone project. So a capstone project is supposed to be kind of the culmination of a series of studies. So the students are working on a project.
Almost like a college thesis type thing, or a dissertation or something.
And we've been flexible. I mean, not everyone has. A lot of kids are taking a lot of APs. We work around it, but it's been great, and students have accomplished great projects. And when they don't do what they thought they wanted to do, and they couldn't get it done in time, the reflections are amazing. And students will say, this is the first time I had to manage really my own time. We're not giving them assignments with a due date. It's up to you. And so they're like, oh, time management is really important. My mentor emphasized that. So before
procrastination is not necessarily a good thing.
So before they go to college, this kind of open-ended opportunity is great. And I find that, that the failure is just as important as the success. So the students really learn about themselves. Some students learn, I don't want to work alone all the time, or I want to work in groups, or I like to talk a lot. So I don't want to spend my whole day just doing programming. So what else can I do? So it's
so that's also part of the career thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I really love computer science.
Right.
So do I want to be a programmer?
Right.
Or do I want to look into teaching or customer service,
product
or
management or sales? So we have speakers come in. I think we had about 7 speakers last year who are in all different professions. So we had someone who does UX, UI design, designing. So when you go,
I was a psychology major.
Well, that's really part of this. So when you go on an app or website,
like UX, UI.
what colors are going to draw you in? How do we get your eyes to go to the right button? So the psychology, definitely a part of it, art and tech, and it's really the kind of bridge between humans and computers. So we had someone come in who had been an art student at BHS, who's now at MITRE, looking at how do we make the tech engaging if we want people to use it.
Okay.
So whenever you use an app and you're annoyed, you're like, oh, they needed a better UX UI designer.
Okay.
So it's called user interface.
Okay.
So
just the X confused me.
User interface, user experience.
Okay. You learned something new.
I know.
Learning a lot of new things. This is pretty
cool. Even that term, if you're a student and you really love people and love art, but also like tech, that's a great field. So
and you probably
if you didn't
would never hear about it.
What UX or UI is, how would you,
Yeah.
So we had a product manager come in. We had a sales, they called it sales enablement, a tech salesperson come in. We had a technical trainer, someone who uses CAD CAM. We had someone who's a cloud solution architect for Amazon Web Services, who designs solutions for all the universities around here that are using the cloud. And he talked to the kids about AI and his career progression, where he started in the Army. And so it's wonderful. We have all these speakers. We do field trips.
Ooh, road trip.
Yeah. We went to MITRE. We went to cyber company Synopsys. We've been to the Koch Center for Cancer Research. Where else did we go? But the Costas Research Institute. So we try to kind of make it engaging. And I just talked to one of my students who's in college right now, and he was saying that he loved the speakers because it was very informal, and he really had an opportunity to hear about different paths and careers. And he said that now in college, it's harder to have those experiences. When they have a speaker, there's like 1,000 kids lined up to talk to them. So he was saying he was really happy to have this experience. Yeah, and then I know the business department, they're bringing students also to different colleges. That teach business to kind of see. We've done a lot of field trips to UMass Lowell, which has been great. They do a nice job. So
it's actually
bringing
just
people
talking to
in,
somebody
sending
from
people
Bentley,
out.
and that's a...
Oh, yeah.
So with all of these professionals, either the subject matter experts or the companies themselves, how do you find them? Do you, you as the director, reach out and say, hey, MITRE, we have an opportunity for you? And is it a one and done? Okay, you helped last semester, so we don't need you anymore. Or
we have a lot of repeat customers, and which is wonderful. So it says something about the program, and we solicit feedback from mentors to see what we need to tweak. So for finding mentors, I mean, the first set...
Is it like word of mouth? And it's like...
You know what? I reach out to anyone and everyone. MITRE, we had gone to an event there, and so at the event, I talked to a lot of people. Amazon Web Services, a former coworker of mine was the first person I contacted. A mom in North Reading, where I live, works for Amazon Robotics. So, you know, parents in Burlington. So,
and now that the program has been around for a little while, some of the first students probably graduated from college now.
Yes, actually, good idea. I do need to reach out to some of those.
Because I was also curious when I was like reading everything going, well, how do you measure success in the program? Is it, okay, you got into RPI, great.
Right.
But is that a measurement of success, or do you follow anybody after they graduate from?
So I have been doing it informally. You know,
or
encourage.
Do you need to? You know,
I think
of the grant,
that's something we want to. I want to do a better job. I think we all want to do a better job at, like, where did people end up? At the beginning, we were just like scrambling to do it. Now I usually have students do a LinkedIn profile and connect with them, so that helps me kind of see. But yeah, I think that's a great area for us to kind of do a little more intense work.
I'm not trying to give you more work to do. I was just kind of curious.
I think that is a great question. And in terms of what success is, so we do a lot of surveys. Asking, first of all, did the program work? What did you like? What did you not like? Did you learn about careers? Did you learn about yourself? So using that feedback for ourselves. In terms of the student success, the whole school has all of the interns doing weekly modules, and then they do put it together in a Google site and make a presentation at the end of it. So that's kind of they need to do that. That's like the kind of benchmark. We also, you know, I think this year more than ever, we're kind of having employers, and we'll be looking at, like, did you practice your communication skills, your problem solving, your critical thinking, and kind of looking at that. And so we rate the kids' presentation and all that. But the students are amazing. I have to say, they do well. Yeah, they find their thing, whether they're in the pathways or they're doing their own internship.
Well, I'm also thinking that evaluation is almost preparation for a job interview.
Right.
You know, tell me about a time when.
Right.
You know,
yes, exactly.
You know, did you learn time management skills? Give me an example of, you know, how you, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm like looking at all the stuff you answered. So, like, with the internship hours, is that, you know, I know you kind of mentioned either the internship or the capstone project. Is that internship measured the same way as those not in the program? Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you want to tell me? Wait, I have another page. Follow up. Okay. We have to talk about the state of the union, state of the state.
Oh yeah, so exciting.
Tell me all about that, and then we'll go back to the regular stuff.
So the people at the state who, you know, hand out the grant funding, they evaluate us, they provide.
Is that an annual grant?
Yes.
Okay.
They've been wonderful, and I feel like the grant process really helped us create a better program, work as a whole school. So it's all good. So the woman who leads that up sent me an email saying they need someone tomorrow who could who could talk about their experience in the Pathway program. And so, you know, I had kids' email, sent the email out, heard back from a few. We, you know, sent it to the state, and they kind of said, well, we think we want this student. So many great examples.
Now, they all have all the ones that you approach, had they graduated from high school?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So that was kind of...
And some live far away, somewhere. So I was trying to look for local, to they had to physically go to the
so
State
they were
House.
going to the University of Alaska.
Yes.
That's probably off
no
the
one was
table.
going to fly in, I don't think. So, Harris, the student that we selected to kind of represent be the face of the program, had decided that for his project he wanted to create an app for a local store, Courtside Kicks, that's at the mall and I think in another place, and it was started by Burlington graduates.
Yes,
So
I remember that. I think B News did a story on it.
So all like so great.
Okay, cool.
And so
let's say Natick Mall, maybe? I don't know, but anyway, that's.
And so they, people have like rare sneakers and they want Courtside Kicks to sell them. So they have to, how does Courtside Kicks figure out like, you know, that you want to sell your sneakers?
Okay.
So his app was a way to standardize, people would get the app and it would instruct them on how to take the pictures. And what information to provide, and then, you know, off it would go to Courtside Kicks.
Oh,
so,
cool. Okay.
You know, it was a challenging project. It's a real live app, learning a language that we didn't teach here, using Angular and.
Okay.
Exactly. So, and so I didn't know it. He didn't know it, but our college student did. And really sat with him, and there were a group of students doing websites and apps using the same language. Really, you know, worked side by side, and Harris completed it. And like, you know, it was a great experience, and he talks about how it really boosted his confidence. And that even when things are hard and you don't know how to do it, he experienced the success of actually progressing through that. So
cool.
yeah, it was so awesome.
Oh my gosh, so smart.
Yeah. So we picked Harris. He was beaming. I don't know if he's going to watch this, but you know, beaming, professional. It was just wonderful. The governor, you know, was thrilled to meet him. Everyone that we met was like, "Oh, you're Harris." And they shook his hand, and I was kind of like, you know, the background, you know,
the responsible adult, the transportation,
the proud, you know.
The proud mom.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so the governor really talked about the state's investment in programs like this, where the goal is that we want kids to graduate from high school and be prepared and motivated and find purpose. So like part of the pathways is like getting kids excited about the future. And so they fund the Innovation Pathways and the Early College Program, and she said, you know, we want programs like Burlington in every city and town. So it was great. It was a wonderful experience and a highlight for everyone involved, and a great experience for Harris to be in the chamber to watch the whole thing. I mean,
just the
very
recognition.
Cool.
It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I did that. You know, I did something to get noticed.
Yeah.
That is
amazing.
like.
And now he's at UMass Lowell. Studying computer science, and he's also managing Courtside Kicks. So he's doing his time management and making it happen.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. And just a boost, you know, kind of saying like, let's keep going, you know, and do more and reach more kids and, you know.
Not to put you on the spot, and feel free to say, I have no idea, Linda, let's move on. With the grant funding program, is it eventually, do you envision the grant going away and having it like just built into curriculum? Or, you know, what's going to happen? Because a lot of programs are like, okay, when the grant's over, you're done. So where do you envision?
The grant funding has definitely helped to fund the creation of the model. It's helped us buy curriculum, you know, pay for certifications, buses for field trips, kind of a lot of expenses that probably we can find a way to do, but it's been great to have this additional funding and not have any additional stress on the school's funding.
But also like prove itself worthy. So because a lot of people don't want to invest in something they don't know about.
Right.
Okay.
And then, I mean, the teachers are still teaching the same classes, so none of the funding supported that. The funding this year is helping to fund the development of these like career modules that we're doing at Flex Time, and helping to fund. I hired a few people to like meet individually with students. We hope the funding continues. It's not a huge amount of funding, but it's enough to help.
Okay.
For example, we had students who worked towards an Excel certification. We were able to pay for the certification exam. If we can't do that, you know, we couldn't, you know, but
Right, okay.
it's nice to have the funding. I think the school committee, the community, the school has been extremely supportive and, you know, believes in the work, and, you know, we hope that.
And it seems to be proving itself worth the investment.
Yes, and I think now we're looking at, so we have the flipped internship model.
Okay.
So there's kids all over the state that, you know, want to visit tech companies and want to do, you know, I think tech is interesting because it is a place where I think it is hard to get an internship.
Okay.
I think there are other fields that are more set up for it. Like if you're in business, there's a greater chance you could. But at any rate, going into tech for students to do something high level when they're still in their infancy of knowledge.
Right. I'm even thinking, you know, high school level.
Yeah.
Nobody does internships for high schoolers, basically.
There are a few, but it's hard to find. So we've been talking with other schools, talking with the state, and we are going to create a summer program and kind of do this model in the summer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and do it for Burlington students, but open it up. So
this summer would be just the internship, or like?
Yes, just the internship.
Oh, okay.
And so looking at how that would take shape, and it's all kind of, you know, we'll see how it goes. It's all new. It's a work in progress.
Still in the developmental stage.
Yes, but the goal is, can we take this concept that worked by accident, I think, but you know,
skill, absolutely.
And you know, we've been doing it for six years, minus COVID. But can we take that model and can we now bring it into the summer and get juniors or sophomores involved?
Oh, okay.
So that when they are starting to apply for colleges, if that's what they're choosing to do, they have had some experience. They can write about it.
The essays.
Right.
The lovely essays.
Yeah. So we'll see. So that's the goal, and then we're looking at how would we fund this.
Okay.
If it's for multiple districts. And, you know, Dr. Conti does have great vision, and so we're talking with the state, we're talking to companies, talking to other schools, and I think the thing that we had last year and the year before that really made an impact is the state, through a funding stream they had, offered money to students working on these projects.
Oh, okay.
It was called a STEM internship stipend. They were paid $15 an hour.
Not bad.
It really was a game changer because all of a sudden it made it real work. You know, if the kids weren't working, you know, we would say you need to go home. We're not paying you to chit chat for an hour. I mean, 10 minutes is fine, but in the real workplace, you do chit chat and then you go back to work.
Right.
So kind of teaching them these skills, the pay made a difference. So that funding stream doesn't exist. So, you know, it would be great to be able to pay students. I think that would be the goal, that they could actually have a paid experience. As opposed to, you know, there are opportunities that students go to where they pay. And those experiences are great if they can afford them, and certainly wonderful. But, you know, to be able to offer an experience that's free and the students get paid is the dream.
Right, okay. Because, you know, I'm also thinking, you know, kind of twofold with, you know, the grant funding, because it is coming from the state, and I think you mentioned earlier in the conversation there were like 50-ish communities or districts currently involved.
Right.
But there are a lot more than 50 districts in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Right.
So, it would be nice to expand it so every school system gets this, but at the same time, don't want to have to say, oh, Burlington, you already did it. We're going to let Billerica do it now. Or, I don't.
There was a plan to, when this first started in 2018-19, to put Pathways into, I guess it's called, I'm no expert, but the foundation formula. There's a formula where schools are allocated a certain amount of funding based on populations, et cetera. So it was going to be embedded. That didn't happen. So it's still a separate grant process. I don't know what the goals are. I mean, I think that the state sees the value in getting kids excited about their future, and certainly.
But like with anything, it's grant funding, and who knows how long it's going to last. So there's always that, okay, we have this, but if we didn't, how could we still make it work? Okay.
So, but as I said, the school committee, the school, the teachers, K through 12. I mean, people are supportive. So
and
we'll see.
There are so many businesses and industries in Burlington, especially like the tech ones.
And I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface. Today I had a phone call with a company in Boston that I hadn't interacted. Well, I had interacted a little bit. All of a sudden that opens up like another pool. So there are so many companies. I think this is a great area for the program. And I don't know, the employees who volunteer, some of them say it's the best part of their day. They're like, we're so happy. Like, they love their jobs, but they're so happy to like do something where they're giving back.
And I think a lot of industry or business culture now is giving back and reaching out to the community, so it's not so siloed. So this is like a perfect match.
Yeah, and like we've really thought about the companies when we created the program. So the most people spent, it's 3.5 hours over a 2-month period. It's 6 half hours. We do the meetings during lunch.
Oh, okay.
Because it works with the kids.
Okay.
And if you're, working for a high-tech company and you're having a meeting with a student at lunch, it feels a little more like, do you know what I mean? As opposed to like in the middle of your day when you're, having your team meeting. So it feels like you can eat your lunch while you're talking to the student.
Yeah,
and
it's less formal and more enjoyable too.
Yes, and kind of everybody's, like some people work late or work early, and this way, like lunch, like pretty much everyone's awake and doing something at that time.
And sometimes, if you depending on the company you work for, forcing you to, not really forcing, but forcing you to take that break and take lunch and just step away from your responsibilities and, just do something different. So. I think we had talked, I don't remember if it was before we started or right now, Burlington has the 2 innovation career pathways of the business-ish and the information. What are your plans for like the next few years? Do you want to introduce something else? And how do you prioritize?
So actually, not even driven by me. I think that the other departments in the school kind of see the value of it. And so we've been talking as a school, can we do multiple pathways? And there's an interest in doing pathways beyond like the 6 that the state has deemed high need careers, which is great. I mean, that's a guideline.
But there's other needs.
Exactly. So, so we're really looking at creating a multitude of pathways where we kind of give kids kind of a guide, like these are the courses you would take, here's some careers, and oh, by the way, we also want you to take at least one elective that's not in the pathway, so you kind of have that focus, but you're exploring. And so we're talking about putting that together, and I think it'll be great as a school culture. You know, because it becomes then part of what kids talk about with each other, with their parents.
But there also seems to be so much that's interdisciplinary, almost, like the time management. So
So part of that
might make it easier, maybe?
Yes, and part of this is all embedded in kind of the portrait of the graduate, and kind of looking at the end product. So if you're in a pathway and you're doing a presentation on your internship, and then you're also going to demonstrate. But you know, we're trying to be thoughtful. I mean, there's a lot of people working on it, a lot of great people. So within the school, and trying to come up with something that works, that's impactful, that can be done, but that the kids will enjoy. So you know, all those things.
But it's got to take a while before you can introduce new changes to the program. Can you introduce you meaning
and that's
the
where
program
we get,
like change directions midstream?
Right. Well, so the plan is
every
to
academic year.
So the plan is to not. It won't be next year. It would be the year after. You know, how we'll kind of phase it in, I'm not sure. I mean, what we've done with the current pathways is when we introduced it, if you were junior or senior, you got involved at whatever age you were. I mean, I think that's why we were thinking 10th grade, so that we had all of 9th grade. There is a push to work even earlier with students, but one thing at a time. So we'll work on.
But I mean, your copious spare time, because you know.
Yes, and you know, and in the school system there is a lot of alignment between like all the schools. So I mean, I think over time that can happen. But for now, we would introduce it and then really work with the 9th graders on more of the career planning, like as a whole school. But it's all, you know, we're working on it together. So
Is there a lot
I'm just one of the people, you know, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we are almost out of time. So is there anything that I've missed that you want to make sure that people outside of the school system might know about?
I think that with the pathways, we're not saying that business or computer science are the only things that are important. So I kind of, you know, want to establish that. But we are saying, like, these are 2 great pathways. There's a lot of job opportunities. If you have some skills in these areas, no matter what you do, it can be a good thing. But I am looking forward to how we expand that. And I think it's great that the community is involved. I'm so glad you're doing this show. We do need more mentors. Certainly appreciate parent involvement. And, you know, even getting the word out to the students, it's, you know, there's a lot of students, so, you know.
True, yeah. And it's like, yes, I know the state of the state was a wonderful opportunity for you in Harris, but that right there was able to raise awareness of the Burlington has what? So, you know, I think that's you're working on it.
Exactly.
You're working on it. You're making progress.
Yes. So thank you for having this show, and I hope
thank you for coming.
I hope it's helpful to parents and kids.
I found it helpful as a parent.
Yeah, great question. So
thank you so much, and we are out of time. So thank you for coming. Thank you for educating me. Thank you for, you know, doing what you do to help our students learn how to be successful. So thank you. And I also want to thank everyone at home for tuning in this evening. I hope you have been enlightened about the future of careers, the future of our communities, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Good night. See you around town.